How's it going? It's Russell here, and if you're a senior living in Canada, you might have just become eligible for up to $800 more money from the Canadian government. So in today's video, we're going to recap exactly what this is, if you're eligible, as well as a potential future benefit that could be coming down the pipeline. We're going to go into a status update on that. To start, let's rewind back to April 2021 when this new benefit was announced and when I covered it right here on the channel. Let's listen in.
The next bullet point here says Budget 2021 then proposes to introduce legislation to increase regular OAS payments for pensioners 75 and older by 10% on an ongoing basis as of July 2022. So again, this is taking effect as of a year from now, a year from this July, and this would increase these benefits for approximately 3.3 million seniors, adding benefits of $766 to full pensioners in the first year and indexed to inflation going forward. So it's going to go up around 2% each year because they use the CPI, Consumer Price Index data, and the Bank of Canada generally targets 2% and tries to keep inflation at 2%. So you'll see a 2% rise there every single year in the first year and index to inflation going forward, as I said. This would give seniors more financial security later in life, particularly at the time when they face increased care expenses and greater risk of running out of savings.
So now that we're through July 2022, we're seeing this increase actually come into effect. And that's why you should follow the channel to get updates when they come out. Although it is a little bit interesting hearing myself talk about a time not too long ago when inflation was only at 2%. And this is something that Chrystia Freeland, the finance minister, and Kamala Kara here, who is the seniors minister of Canada, were certain to point out. You can see this tweet here saying that the first permanent increase since 1973, it benefits over 3.3 million seniors. Full pensioners will receive an extra $800, which works out to about $65 a month extra, and gives seniors greater financial security now and into the future. But let's get into the brass tacks of exactly what this increase looks like. So for people who are on OAS, who are receiving the maximum OAS amount, you could be receiving from age 65 to 74, $666.83. And once you've passed that age 75 mark, you would hit $733.51 per month. Now, this of course was super controversial because prior to this, all retirees, all seniors in Canada were considered in one class of citizens. But now, as of this change, we've effectively split it into sort of senior junior and senior senior, with seniors between 65 and 74 receiving less than the older seniors who are age 75 and older. And we're seeing advocates call this out, saying that this leaves behind what could be the most needful part of the whole older Canadian group, and also saying that some of their statistics show that it's the younger cohort of the 65 and up that are more needful of the money these days, and that this measure discriminates on the basis of age and risks setting a dangerous precedent by creating two classes of seniors. And they're saying that people who began to plan for retirement 20 or 30 years ago didn't expect the current inflation rates and actually running out of money before they pass away. And this worry is actually tracking to the statistics we're seeing, with 47% of men and 41% of women who are retired becoming re-employed in the next 10 years after their retirement. But there is one way that you can boost the amount that you get both from OAS and from CPP. We're not going to get too in detail about it, but it has to do with deferring receiving your OAS and CPP until you're age 70 instead of getting it when you can at 65. Now, every single year that you defer this payment, you get an additional 7.6%. So you can increase it by that 7.6% for every year that you don't take it after the year that you become eligible. So that can boost up the amount that you actually receive. But when you're considering this, you also have to think about, okay, well, like, what is my general life expectancy? Do I have people in the family that often have died at a younger age? In these situations, it may not make as much sense to defer receiving your payments. But if you expect to have a very long life, then waiting that extra 5 years can definitely be financially beneficial. And as for what's coming down the pipeline for seniors in the foreseeable future, well, we're definitely going to continue to see increases of the OAS and the GIS, largely due to inflation. These benefits are indexed to inflation. That means when we see high inflation like we do today, those benefit amounts will go up relative to the inflation that we're seeing. We've seen inflation around 8%, so over the next year, we could see an increase of a similar amount to OAS and GIS, and that would be for all seniors. Now, the other thing that they have mentioned is something that they put forward in Budget 2022. We've talked about this on the channel before, but but there hasn't been that much talk about it since. We often see this in budgets, governments saying, hey, this is something that we're going to do, but then we never really see development on it. And that is the idea of an aging at home benefit. There's going to be a panel that reports to the Minister of Seniors, the one that we sort of saw the tweet of earlier. But we haven't seen any details on what this actually looks like and if seniors could actually get a cash benefit to help them stay in place rather than moving to a retirement home or some other residence. But that just about does it for today's video. Let me know what you think of what's going on here. This is something that's been controversial, splitting up seniors into two different classes. Do you think that that was the right way to go? It seems that the Canadian government is far more inclined to give more money to older seniors than younger seniors. Maybe they think that they'll have to spend less in the long term if they only support the oldest of the seniors. But let me know if you think that's the right thing to do or not, or if you think some of the points that were made in that other article saying, hey, well, some of the most financially distressed are between that 65 and 75 age. Do you think that's more of the actual reality? Let me know down in the comments. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel down below, and I'll see you in the next video.